Fear doesn't require a threat. It only requires a question nobody can answer. Give someone a known danger, and their brain calculates it like arithmetic. Probability, cost, response, done. Give them an unknown, and something entirely different activates. Not the calculating part of their mind, the ancient part. The part built exclusively to keep them alive, not to keep them rational. I never needed to threaten anyone directly. I only needed to make sure nobody in the room could ever fully calculate what I was actually going to do next. That single condition did more work than any confrontation ever could. Sit down. I'm going to explain exactly why uncertainty is more dangerous than any weapon you could point at someone, and precisely how to become the question nobody in your life can answer. Here is something almost nobody consciously understands about their own mind. It treats known danger and unknown danger as two entirely different categories, even when the known danger is objectively worse. Give a person a fair coin toss with real stakes attached, and they'll calculate it, accept it, move forward. Give that same person an urn where they don't know the ratio of outcomes at all, and they'll pay extra, real, measurable cost, just to avoid the unknown one, even when the numbers say the unknown option was actually better. This isn't a flaw limited to careless thinkers. It's the baseline architecture of every human mind, tested repeatedly and confirmed decades ago. I exploit this constantly, and it costs me nothing to do it. The instant someone can't calculate my next move, not because I'm hiding a threat, but because there's genuinely nothing to calculate yet, their mind stops treating me as a puzzle and starts treating me as a threat. Not because I did anything, because uncertainty itself is processed as danger, regardless of what's actually behind it. Calculated risk gets processed by the reward circuitry, the part of the mind built for weighing outcomes and expected value. Ambiguity bypasses that system entirely and lands directly on the amygdala, the brain's oldest alarm, the one that doesn't do math, only survival. When I withhold my intentions, my capability, my next move, I'm not creating a puzzle for someone to solve. I'm forcing their nervous system to process me through a threat detection circuit that was never built for careful reasoning. Their attention narrows. Their conflict monitoring systems spike. Every ounce of processing power they have gets redirected toward resolving a question I never actually asked them to answer. And while that redirection is happening, they have almost nothing left to spend on actually opposing me. This is not a metaphor. It's measurable down to the wave pattern. Ambiguous conditions produce a documented surge in midfrontal cognitive strain, the exact signature of a mind-burning fuel it doesn't have to spare. I don't need to exhaust an opponent through confrontation. Silence does it for me, automatically, every time. There's a specific psychological mechanism behind why an unresolved uncertainty is so difficult to ignore. The moment a question opens in someone's mind with no immediate answer, it doesn't politely wait in the background. It commands attention, actively, whether the person wants it to or not. Combine that with the well-documented human tendency to fear loss more intensely than we value an equivalent gain, and the mechanism becomes obvious. An opponent facing my silence isn't calmly waiting to see what happens. They're running worst-case simulations over and over because the unresolved gap in their information gets filled, automatically, involuntarily, with whatever their own fear supplies. I don't have to manufacture their anxiety. I only have to withhold the one thing that would resolve it. Their own mind does the rest, far more effectively than anything I could say out loud. There's an old insight from strategic theory, developed originally for the highest possible stakes imaginable, that applies with almost no modification to an ordinary room. Complete predictability is a weakness. If an opponent knows exactly where your line sits, they'll walk right up to it and stop precisely there, extracting everything just short of triggering a response. but introduce genuine, controlled ambiguity about exactly where that line is. Not bluster, not empty threats, but real uncertainty about the actual boundary, and the entire calculation changes. The opponent can no longer calibrate their aggression safely because they can't identify the exact point where it stops being safe. This is why I never announce my limits clearly. A clearly announced limit is an invitation to approach it precisely. An unclear one forces the other party to carry the entire weight of the risk themselves, because they have no way to know how close is too close. Here's what almost nobody understands about maintaining this posture. It doesn't require constant proof, constant demonstration, or constant expenditure of actual capability. Refusing to reveal the full extent of what you're capable of creates a deterrent effect disproportionate to what you'd need to spend proving it directly. An opponent who cannot confirm the absence of a decisive capability has to behave as though it might exist. That single unresolved possibility does the strategic work that an expensive, visible display of strength would otherwise require. I want to be precise about the actual risk here, because pretending this tactic has no failure mode would be dishonest. Push ambiguity too far against an opponent whose fear tolerance is already thin, and there's a real chance they miscalculate catastrophically, assuming the worst and acting preemptively rather than risk waiting to find out. Strategic opacity deters ordinary aggression. Handled carelessly, it can also detonate exactly the confrontation it was meant to prevent. Precision matters here more than intensity. There is documented research, conducted at serious academic institutions studying live negotiation, showing something specific about pauses lasting 3 seconds or longer. They don't signal weakness. They restructure the entire interaction. An aggressive opening demand, met with an immediate counter-argument, gets validated by the mere act of responding to it. Met instead with total silence, the same demand starts to feel exposed, unsupported, forcing the person who made it to reconsider its scale without a single word being spent to challenge it. Most people cannot tolerate that unfilled gap. They break it themselves, offering concessions, revealing intentions, softening positions nobody asked them to soften. I use this constantly, and it costs nothing. Whoever is least comfortable with silence loses control of the negotiation every time, regardless of how strong their actual position was walking in. There's a documented pattern in leadership research worth understanding precisely, because it contradicts almost everything people assume about authority. Leaders who dominate every conversation perform well only with passive teams who expect to be told what to do. The moment a team becomes genuinely capable and starts proposing its own ideas, those same talkative leaders start producing worse results because their constant verbal output gets treated by their own subordinates as a threat to challenge, not information to use. Quiet leadership works differently. It creates room for upward information to actually reach the person who needs it, instead of getting drowned by a leader too busy asserting authority to receive it. And when a quiet leader finally does speak, the words carry weight precisely because they're rare. Constant noise gets tuned out. Scarce, deliberate speech gets absorbed completely. I have never needed to fill a room with my own voice to control what happens inside it. Silence does something noise never could. It makes the eventual words impossible to ignore. There's an old, blunt piece of strategic wisdom worth stating plainly. Always say less than necessary, not because words are dangerous by themselves, but because every word you speak hands the room another data point about how you think, what you value, and how to predict you next time. Held in reserve, silence transforms you from a participant exposing their internal state into an observer quietly collecting everyone else's. While the room performs, argues, and reveals itself, I watch, noting the hesitations, the defensive over-agreements, the subtle signals that reveal who actually holds power and who's only pretending to. Saying less than necessary isn't a social limitation. It's a constant, low-cost intelligence operation running in the background of every room I enter. I want to be direct about something, because a great deal of what's built around this mindset online gets it wrong in a specific, damaging way. There's a real difference between disciplined emotional regulation, processing what you feel internally, deciding deliberately what gets expressed, and simply stripping away every obligation to anyone else in the name of looking untouchable. One is a genuine skill. The other is a hollow imitation, wearing the language of self-control, while discarding everything self-control was originally meant to serve. Classical strategic thought, at its actual foundation, was never built purely for domination. It was built on the understanding that internal discipline exists to serve something larger than personal advantage. Judgment, integrity, a genuine responsibility to the people around you. What gets built from it today, when it's stripped down to nothing but leverage and detachment, produces something narrower and considerably less durable strength with no foundation underneath it except the fear of appearing weak. Ambiguity, used precisely, is a tool. Ambiguity, adopted as an entire personality, because vulnerability once felt too dangerous to risk, is not strength. It's armor worn permanently, over a wound nobody ever let heal. Every person who has ever tried to read me correctly walked away with an incomplete picture. Not because I was hiding something monstrous underneath, but because I understood something most people never bother learning. Certainty is a gift you're not obligated to hand anyone for free. You don't need to threaten the people you're up against. You need to become a question they cannot finish answering. Withhold what doesn't need to be shown. Say less than the room expects. Let silence do the work argument never could. But hold the line I just described, precisely. This isn't permission to disappear from every relationship that actually matters, wrapped in the aesthetic of discipline. It's a tool deployed exactly where the stakes call for it, and set down the moment they don't. Make them uncertain of your next move. Just never become so uncertain of your own that there's nothing left underneath the strategy to actually find.